They didn't know what they were targeting. From their positions on the Yemeni coastline, the Houthi missile operators probably thought it was just another freighter, a slow-moving cargo vessel, one of dozens that pass through the Gulf of Aden every week. But this time, they weren't aiming at a warship. They weren't locked onto a US destroyer with radar blazing. Their target was a civilian merchant vessel, and when their missile struck, the result was catastrophic. The Dutch-flagged cargo ship was transiting the Gulf of Aden, one of the world's busiest and most critical waterways. Without warning, a missile launched from western Yemen slammed into its hull. The impact tore through the ship, igniting a massive fire on board. The vessel was left crippled, drifting, its crew scrambling to save themselves. 2 sailors were injured. 19 crew members had to abandon ship. This was not an isolated incident. For months, the Houthi movement, an Iran-backed rebel group entrenched in Yemen's civil war, has launched a relentless campaign against maritime traffic in the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden. Tankers, container ships, bulk carriers, no vessel is truly safe anymore. At first, their attacks seemed random, but over time, a pattern emerged. The Houthis announced that they would target vessels linked to Israel or its allies. They declared the Red Sea off-limits to enemies of Palestine. In reality, their strikes have often hit ships with no direct connection to Israel at all. Greek, Liberian, Japanese, British, now Dutch. The Minervagracht was simply the latest in a growing list. At first, their weapon of choice was the drone. Small, cheap, and effective. Armed drones launched from Yemen's western provinces harassed Saudi oil infrastructure and struck airports across the Arabian Peninsula. But soon, the campaign shifted. Missiles, ballistic, cruise, and anti-ship began raining down on ships sailing past Yemen's coastline. The Houthis adapted quickly, combining old Soviet-era stockpiles with newer Iranian-supplied technology. These weren't random launches. They were coordinated, often using Iranian intelligence and surveillance data. So how do the Houthis attack ships? Their strategy is surprisingly sophisticated for a militia cut off from the outside world. Step 1. Tracking. The Houthis monitor maritime traffic using open-source data, including AIS signals, the automatic transponders all ships use. With Iranian guidance, they can identify when high-value targets pass near Yemeni waters. Step 2. Launch. From concealed positions in Yemen's coastal provinces, they fire drones, cruise missiles, or even repurposed ballistic missiles modified for anti-ship use. Step 3. Swarm. Often they launch waves of drones first, overwhelming defenses, before sending in the heavier missiles. The Gulf of Aden is not just any sea lane. It connects the Red Sea and the Suez Canal to the wider Indian Ocean. Every year, nearly 12% of global trade passes through this corridor. Oil, liquefied natural gas, manufactured goods, food supplies, all of it flows through this maritime artery. If these waters become a no-go zone, the consequences ripple worldwide. Shipping companies reroute around the Cape of Good Hope in Africa, adding weeks to delivery times and billions in costs. Insurance rates skyrocket, energy markets jitter, and the global economy feels the shockwaves. The Red Sea today is no longer just a shipping lane. It is a militarized corridor bristling with warships from across the globe. At the northern entrance, near the Suez Canal, Egyptian frigates and missile boats maintain a constant presence, guarding their own coastline and ensuring that nothing threatens the canal, one of Cairo's most vital national assets. Further south, American destroyers like the USS Carney and USS Gravely patrol in rotating deployments, equipped with the Aegis combat system, their radars sweeping the skies for incoming drones and missiles. Carrier strike groups, including the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower, linger in the Arabian Sea and can project power into the Red Sea within hours, launching Super Hornets and Growlers whenever needed. Alongside the US, the Royal Navy has sent Type 45 destroyers, some of the most advanced air defense ships in the world, capable of tracking and intercepting dozens of aerial targets simultaneously. France operates from its base in Djibouti, just across the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, deploying frigates and maritime patrol aircraft that watch the choke point day and night. Italy, Spain, and Germany contribute ships under the European Union's naval mission, escorting merchant vessels and reinforcing collective security. Even smaller navies like those of Greece and the Netherlands now participate, spurred into action after one of their own flagged vessels was struck. On the other side, Gulf states such as Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates also maintain warships in the southern Red Sea, a reminder that their own ports and oil terminals remain at risk. Together, this patchwork fleet of Western and regional powers forms a fragile shield, but the reality is sobering. There are hundreds of miles of vulnerable waters, and no matter how many destroyers, frigates, or corvettes sail these seas, they cannot be everywhere at once. So where does this leave us? This attack is more than just another strike. It represents a dangerous escalation. For the first time, a European-flagged vessel has been directly hit and set ablaze. For the first time, a NATO ally is demanding the EU designate the Houthis as a terrorist organization. And for the first time, the world is waking up to the reality that the Red Sea is no longer safe for commerce. This is not just about Yemen. It is not even just about the Middle East. It is about the fragile web of global trade that ties the world together. And it is about the growing willingness of proxy forces like the Houthis to test the resolve of Western powers. Will sanctions stop them? Will naval patrols deter them? Or is this just the beginning of a new era of maritime warfare, where drones, missiles, and militias can hold the global economy hostage? The message from the Houthis is clear. They are willing to turn one of the world's most important shipping routes into a war zone. And the question for the West is equally clear. How far are we willing to go to stop them? The Red Sea remains one of the most unpredictable and dangerous stretches of water on Earth. Shipping lanes are under constant threat, and the balance between commerce and conflict hangs by a thread. Yet for every challenge, there are crews, navies, and international forces working tirelessly to keep the world's trade flowing and to protect lives at sea. Thank you for watching. Stay informed, stay alert, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more updates on global security and maritime affairs. We'll see you in the next video.